Hope you guys are having a great day 6 of ACON. Still a ton left, you guys. 2 live sales right after this, but first, Overstreet Access. We're going to do a live demo. Let's get Sean in here. He's going to tell us all about Overstreet Access. What's up, Octavio, Drew, I see you, Pop Warner Comics, Kataiba. All right, let me send them a request. I'm not seeing their request. Overstreet. Let me accept it. One of them will work first. All right, we have a connection. What's up, Sean?
How's it going, man?
All right, guys, let me set this up a little bit. So, if you're just tuning in, maybe from Sean's side, this is ACON, Elite Comics 11's virtual comic convention. We're in day 6, the final day. But there's nothing final about this. This is awesome. So our elite sponsor, Overstreet Access, we're going to get into a live demo. This is Sean Sipple. He knows everything about it. So he's going to show us what Overstreet Access has to offer. Shout out, of course, to Overstreet Access. Like I said, they're one of our elite sponsors. So is CGC Comics and VV Comics. You guys are all very much appreciated. Before we get into it, just special shout out to the Jeppy family, specifically Josh and Steve. They've always been crazy supportive of the elite community. So just want to give them a special shout out as well. But Overstreet Access live demo. This is Sean Sipple, you guys. Welcome him. He's going to show us what Overstreet Access can do, explain it a bit. And we encourage thoughtful questions. There may be some incentives for those, but let's learn about it. Welcome, Sean.
How's it going, guys? I see a couple of users out there. What's up, Brendan? Yeah, so basically over the last couple of years, I've been working with Overstreet and the Jeppies to get the digitized Overstreet price guide up and running. We've got a pretty amazing suite of tools. And we got definitely more to come too. So I know our time's kind of limited. Do you want to just jump right into the demo?
Sure, yeah. And if you're really new to this, Overstreet, you probably saw the old printed Overstreet guides. Well, it's become digital now. They've added a ton of features. Overstreet Access. That's what Sean's about to show us, just to kind of show you where the future is here. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, let me get this adjusted here. Bear with me. Okay. Hopefully you guys can all see this.
Wow, you got a nice collection going there.
So basically, we have a couple of different primary features with Overstreet Access. So it's basically 3 main parts of this application. So we've got a huge, robust database of comic information. All of it's cross-referenced. You can look up issues and see characters that showed up in it, contributors that are in it, a lot of history and information about them, first appearances, all sorts of sweet info. We've got a pretty robust collection management system, so you can add issues into your collections. Right now it's based on collection box structure, so you can almost use it as a collection inventory management system too. So you don't have to go rooting through boxes to find out where your issues are.
John, if I can interrupt you for 1 second.
Sure.
I realize there's text in the way, you guys. 2 things. 1, tap on my head. That will hide almost all the comments if you tap on my head. Or you can put the @ symbol in a comment and it will clear all the text from the screen so you can see Sean's screen better. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the collection management, it's all based on the way that we collect. We've got a collection, we've got boxes, and inside of boxes, we've got our issues. And then we also have a strong connection with a lot of retailers out there and allowing retailers to put back issues online so that you guys can locate that. Now, with that in mind, we're not actually a marketplace. There's not any transactional stuff. You can't buy comics on the site. We want to stay as agnostic as we can, because we're providing valuations for stuff. But what we do is we create connections between retailers and collectors in order to help you guys fill all your runs and get books that you need that are not necessarily in your geographic reach. So with that, let me go and and we'll go and
So
search for.
that screen right there is showing you how you can basically organize your collection. You can keep track of your collection on Overstreet Access, right? And it's giving you value information. We've seen that. We're gonna hear more about that. You're saying there's also links to retailers that have kind of signed up for it that it can help you find. Is that right?
Yep, yep. I'm gonna walk you guys through a little bit of each of those here real quick. So if we just go and we search for titles, we can come in here and let's search for Hellblazer. It's one of my favorites. So searching by Hellblazer, we can come in here. We can see all sorts of different Hellblazer titles we have in here. You notice we've got, here's the original series. We've got annuals. We've got specials. You know, if we want to hone down and filter those out, we can look, here's trades that we've got. Here's series. If we only want to look at the specials, we can filter those out. And then basically, once you find the title that you're looking for, you can click into that and you get the title detail screen. So here we've got a lot of information about that title and when it came out, publisher information, guide notes, of course. And then if we scroll down, we can see all the different issues that are inside of that series. We've got a bunch of little icon indicators here. The green checkbox check mark means that I've already got that in my collection somewhere. These are key issues. If it's on your want list, there'll be a little blue heart over here. If we're just interested in looking at a bunch of prices for a bunch of issues inside of Hellblazer, we can switch over to a list view. You can scroll down. It's almost just like reading the guide.
I think so. One thing to emphasize here, you guys, just imagine this. So every comic book printed, like instead of having to carry around those like massive volumes, like you have all the information from every comic book that's basically been printed at your fingertips. I mean, people used to go to those guides because all the great information they had about every comic. So this is all at your fingertips on this, what do we want to call it? Website, app? Is it both now?
It's, you know, it's a platform at this point.
It's a platform.
So let's say we want to go and we want to get a Hellblazer #2. So we can click on the cover here. This will take you into the issue detail page. And again, get you a bunch of metadata about that specific issue. We've got guide notes. We've got all of our guide prices. Now, again, just to note, Overstreet pricing is based upon raw values over time. So basically our pricing comes from talking to retailers and all of our Overstreet advisors who report verified sales. And so then we update that based upon, again, raw values. We are working on coming up with some formulas for certified pricing and figuring out how we're going to best acknowledge real-time market sales as well. So look for those coming this year.
I do want to encourage some interaction here. So Sean, right off the bat, here's a question for you. Can you transfer your collection data from other sites, like transferring a playlist? Is there any thoughts on that?
So
any ability to do that? We
do. We have a pretty robust Excel importer. Basically, you know, if you had an Excel sheet of your own collection or an export from a different service, as long as it's formatted correctly, you can import them into the system. And instead of actually having to go and hunt down for each of the books that you got in your system or in your collection, basically it becomes a verification process. So the system tries its best to go and match up all of the different titles and all of the different issues. And then basically you just go in and check and make sure that it's the right thing. You hit add issues, tell it where to put it, and it imports it. And it'll keep track of that too. So if you've got, 50,000 comics in your collection, you don't have to do that all one sitting. If you come back 3 days later, it keeps track of your progress and you can just work your way through that whole verification process. It's pretty easy.
Okay. So you're saying there is some cross compatibility there? Depends?
Yep. And I'll show you that. I'll show you guys.
I like that question, Sean. Did you like that question?
I did.
All right, Mortal Comics. I asked you to do some meaningful interaction. We appreciate that question. Sounds like you have a question about whether things can transfer or not. Why don't you find out, Mortal Comics? You just won a 1-year subscription, gold subscription to Overstreet Access. All right, Mortal Comics, we will give you the info. You just won a 1-year subscription. Thank you.
There was another good question there. Oh, it came off my screen. Do values update over time from your inventory based on your pricing, or do I put my own value in? So basically, once a comic is inside of your collection, whenever we deem a value change necessary, it will auto update inside of your collection. And as far as keeping track of your collection value for insurance information, one of the other things I'll show you is our Excel export. So at any time, you can take a snapshot of your collection, export it to Excel, and hand that over to your insurance agent, or do whatever you want with it. You can keep it as a backup too, in case something happens. You can re-import your collection as it is. You can have multiple exports. There's basically a download library. So you can take one every month, and so then if you go in and accidentally delete some books or move them around, you can go back to last month's backup and import that, and it will come straight into the system too.
Very cool.
That was a good question from RFA 2094.
All right, Sean told me it was a good question, RFA.
It was a good question.
RFA, you get a 1-year subscription to Overstreet Access as well. RFA is a good guy. He's also a big supporter of Elite Comics 11. Thank you, RFA, as is Mortal. You guys are awesome. Thank you. So you get the 1-year subscription. Thank you for your input.
And Whodat, just to let you know, we do have an app in the App Store. The app right now is for existing gold and silver users. So we don't do signups through the app right now. One of the reasons for that is Apple does this thing where they don't like to let you use your own kind of sign up code or anything like that. And they take a huge chunk off the top for the subscription fees. But I think that throughout the year, we're probably going to do another app update to open that up a little bit more. But the site is fully mobile responsive. So if you're on your cell phone, just go through Safari or Chrome or whatever. You can log in, just go to overstreetaccess.com, and you have full features there as well. So there's basically 3 different ways that you can access all the functionality.
All right, so there's definitely, okay, so there's pricing information for Ross and grading, and then the information for every comic book, and you have collection compiling. Okay, so we've been seeing this screen.
Okay, yeah,
let me do some more showing.
Let me jump back into the demo here. So remember, we're on a specific issue detail here. So again, you've got your pricing, and then when you come down, if you're looking, if you've got 30, 40 long boxes in your collection and you're looking for a book, instead of having to comb through those boxes or even comb through your collection, you can come in here, and you see right now we don't have this in our collection, but if we come back up here and we add this, so it'll ask me to select my collection, select my box. Once I pick my grade, it'll tell you what the value for that is. I'll save that to my collection, and then instantly when I come down here, you see it's already added in here. So it tells me that I've got a 9.2 inside of collection new import inside of Box Hellblazer. I can also edit all of my stuff in here. So if I forgot to say that this was a certified book, I can come in here, certified by CGC. Let's do, there we go, and signed by me. We save that, and now this is updated in the collection. If there are any variants to this issue, they'll be under this accordion. Characters that show up in this issue, and this is all cross-referenced as well. Contributors that worked on those books are listed here. One of the things that we've got coming soon, we also have roles coming to where you'll be able to see if Annie Parkhouse was the inker on that or the letterer or whatever. So we're working on getting that pushed out here pretty quick too. If it's a part of a story arc, that'll be listed here. And if any retailers have this specific issue, you'll see it in the where to buy section. And I'll be coming back to that here in a minute.
So there's a lot of information about every comic book. Man, we do this trivia contest, Sean.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, Big Brains Bill. He needs this.
Trivia cheat sheet.
He costs me way too much money every year getting questions wrong. So he needs this for sure. All right. This is good.
So coming out of here, and this interface will be a little bit different than what you see on desktop. Because I had to do this vertically for Instagram, we're actually triggering the tablet view right now. So if we go to story arcs, this is pretty interesting too. So let's go to my favorite story arc, Nightfall. So if we click into Nightfall again, we get total issues in the story arc. We get a bunch of info about that story arc. And then I'm going to shut variants off here for a second. And then basically you get a chronological listing of all of the books that were in that, and even across titles. So you can see the first 3 here were Batman issues, then it swaps over to Detective Comics, and then it switches over. I think there's a Showcase down as Showcase 93. And again, if we go and look at any of these single issues and scroll down, you'll see that it's part of the arc, the Nightfall arc. And again, you get a cross-referenced list of all those story arcs there too. The other cool thing that you can do, if we go back, if let's say you go into your local comic shop and you buy a saran wrap bundle of Nightfall, so they've got everything in there. Instead of having to go and hunt down through all like 7 different titles that Nightfall has a part of, you can come here and add all of the issues across all of the different titles all at once. So I can select them all. Let's say that they're all at least a 9.0, but let's see, 491, maybe that's a 9.2, and 492, maybe that's an 8.5. I can add all of these at once. So we'll go in here, we'll put it back in my new import, but I'm going to create a new box for it. So we're going to call this Nightfall. Okay. Add all the issues. And now I've added that entire story arc all at once. And again, we'll verify that when I hit the collection management here in a second. The other ways to search for things are through characters. So if we come in here, so we look at Wolverine, I click on him, it'll give me his first appearance, a link over to that.
What does it say for first appearance? Oh, it says Hulk 180.
It does.
Oh,
it does.
wow.
That's the Overstreet stance on Wolverine's first appearance.
Okay,
I know that's controversial.
It says Hulk 180.
It's as it should be.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're stirring the pot.
But this will also show you, so Wolverine's been in 2,638 titles. He's been in 9,000 different issues. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's legit. Now, if we scroll down here, once you come into a title here, this will only show you the issue from that title that Wolverine showed up in. So I think there's 4 or 5 issues in this title right now, but Wolverine only shows up in number 3. So you can clear that filter here and you can see all the rest of the stuff. The same thing works for contributors too. So if you want to go and look at Jamie Delano covers, you can go in and search for him.
I'm interested. What do you guys say about Gambit? What's the first Gambit?
Oh, first Gambit. Okay, let's see what
All right, hang on to your horses. What's the first appearance of Gambit?
Uncanny 266.
All right, you guys took the 266. All right, the 266. That's what they're calling it. Okay. All right.
Now listen, this brings up a good point though. If we've got some information in here and you think this is wrong, all you have to do, see this blue feedback button over here? You can click into this, you can report a bug, general feedback, it doesn't matter which one you pick. All these go straight to me. So if you've got a case to make for it not being Uncanny 266, come in here, let me know if we need to get some information verified or if there's a book that's not showing up. All of this goes straight to me first, and then I'll pass it off to the pricing team, or I'll get an issue added, or I'll correct any information that we might get wrong.
Sean, were you inspired by Nordort's question that said, is there a way to submit suggested changes to the database? For example, if the metadata has an error?
I didn't actually see that, but I think that makes that a good question.
That is a good question. It was from Nordort. Nordort, he's showing you how to basically slide into his DMs. Sean will see it. If you correct it, why don't you take a crack at it for a year?
Well, it's pretty funny.
Nort, you're going to become Sean's new best friend. You're going to report everything, all right? I want you to be a rat. You just tell him everything that's wrong with it, all right?
Well, and what's funny is I generally find that it's easier for me to do the support stuff by calling back. And there's another guy in here, Brendan, who I've talked to a couple of times. So you'll get a call from a crazy New Hampshire number. It's just Sean from Overstreet calling to help you out. So if whether it's image scan reports or responding to one of these feedback reports or coming in through support@overstreetaccess.com, which is our general support email, generally you'll get a phone call back from me. And I work all sorts of crazy hours. So, the other day I had somebody at 1:30 asking for something, and I jumped online and was able to help them out at like 1:30 in the morning. Now I'm not promising 24 hours support.
Yeah, definitely don't promise you're talking to anyone in this
But
chat at 1:30 in the morning, Sean.
but we're pretty aggressive about our support. We want to make this the best product that we can. So, and with that in line too, if there's feature requests, last August I had a guy ask me if it would be possible for us to build in the ability to change and sort your own boxes in your own order, and we built that in about 2 weeks and pushed that out for him. So, we're pretty responsive as far as that stuff goes.
Some people are asking, some people have been winning the subscriptions with the great, but not everybody can. How much does the app cost? How much does the subscription cost?
So we got 3 basic levels. We got a bronze, silver, and gold. So the bronze is basically if you just want the pricing. That's $3 a month or $30 a year. If you're a kind of a newer collector or have a smaller collection, under 5,000 issues, I'd advise you to go with the silver. So silver gets you 1 collection, unlimited boxes, and up to 5,000 issues. And that's $5 a month or $50 a year. So if you've got more than that, then you'll go with gold. Gold gets you 5 collections, unlimited boxes, unlimited issues. And, another question that I get asked a lot is why have multiple collections? Well, if you want to take all of your trades and hardcovers and collect them separately, or you want to separate out your key issues, or your kids have a collection, you can put your kids, books into their own collection and keep all of those separate so you get different running values and, complete separation throughout all of those.
All right, Sean, I'm doing one more live test, at least for me. Do you, X-Men Annual number 14, we're going back to this Gambit issue. Can we see what kind of information this has on X-Men Annual Volume, it's X-Men Annual Volume 1, 14. It involves Gambit, if that helps you find it. Some people are considering that the first Gambit, because it hit the newsstands first, supposedly. I want to know if there's any notes on that by chance.
Let's see. Here we go. X-Men Annual 14. This one right here?
Yeah, that one.
Past.
So legend has it that this somehow hit the newsstands by mistake first. Does it say anything about that?
So it does have a guide note that it's a first minor appearance.
First minor appearance of Gambit. All right. So it acknowledges it, but calls it a minor appearance.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to the guide, the print guys, and I'm gonna point this out, because if we have Wolverine with his minor appearance on the last page of 180, maybe we should be switching the Gambit over to this instead. So
I think we have Sean. It's your job, maybe drop the others, because Sean Nordor is also Sean. So Sean, why don't you send Sean a note just to let him do a review. But my understanding is Gambit is significantly in this book. It just wasn't intended to be his first appearance, but it did hit the newsstands, I hear. So there you go.
I'll tell you what, there's a case to be made for this. So what I'll do is I'll push back on the people that get to make those decisions. I just get to build the code.
All right.
But yeah, I'll bring this up. Maybe we'll be making a data change after this.
Okay.
Anyways, let me go ahead. We're going to switch over to the collection management here real quick. So you click on a little comic box, and I've got 2 collections set up in this. So basically, here's my new import collection. This is one I've been adding books to for you guys. So we get a running value of the collection. We've got the number of boxes, number of publishers representative, titles, and then total number of issues. Now, if we click into that, now we can see my box setup. So we've got Hellblazer, Import, Nightfall, and X-Men. And again, like I can go and I can change order if I want Nightfall to be the first one up here. We just do that. We hit save. We can rearrange all of our stuff. Each box has its own associated estimated guide value. Again, we've got all the same metadata, issues, titles, publishers, etc. Pay attention to these buttons down here. This gray button, we're going to come back to this. This is our export. So I can export a single box to Excel, or I can export the entire collection. Again, I can also do a show all collection issues, and this will basically consolidate everything down by publisher and then by title from all of those boxes within this collection.
Here's That's a good question. White glove pressing. Which subscription do you want? If you don't want to necessarily catalog your collection, but you just want access to the database, what tier is that?
That would be bronze. If all you want are the prices, go bronze.
And what if does that get you access to all the information as well?
Yep. So that the entire comic database is free.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can go and look up info on anything in there absolutely for free. The cover scanner that I'll show you later, that's also for free. So if you've got a Virgin variant out there and you're not an Overstreet Access user, but you want to figure out what title it's from, you can just go scan that in. I'll show you how to do that in a little while and figure out, you can go straight to the details. Now you can't get any of the pricing information or the collection management, obviously, but that's one of our free services too.
And once you have a subscription, does it apply to multiple devices, or is it?
Okay. Oh yeah. So when I'm working on my own, I usually have my laptop open and logged in, and I've got my cell phone. So I may be scanning books in, but if I want to go and do something that I want to have a little bit more screen space so I can, get some more extra detail, I can flip right over to my laptop and do that too. So there's no restriction on how many devices or how many concurrent devices are in there.
All right, here's a good one. Justin Tribute asking, does this platform allow you to follow friends and see their collections?
As of right now, we don't have any kind of social functionality like that. I think at some point we may want to do that. One of the problems that arises once you start doing that is then we start thinking about forums, and then we have to have moderation, and we have to do all of that stuff. What we really wanted to do coming out of the gate is really build a strong foundation for that. We do have the functionality built in to make things public, but right now that functionality is only for retailers, and in order for them to display the books that they want you guys to be able to purchase if you want. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to do social stuff eventually.
Uh-oh, somebody's asking about a barcode label printing function. It made me think of, I think, one feature that we're going to show off, a little bit different, but right?
As far as
just
we
entry,
don't have anything.
Yeah, do we have any photo kind of entry features or anything like that?
That is coming this year. And that will be a combined piece of functionality that will allow you to upload pictures to, so you can customize your collection image or any of the box images, and allow you to upload photos of your own specific book. That's something that we get asked about a lot. We just had some other things to finish up first. The cover scanner took up, months of our time. We just released that. So now we're getting ready to move back onto some other things.
All right. Then so the database, so you said something crazy important here. So you're saying people can go to Overstreet Access and at their fingertips have all the information in terms of the books that have been published. That's all free.
All of the comic information is 100% free.
All right. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know you could go get Overstreet Access? You could follow Overstreet_Access, bottom of the screen. If you just want access to all the comic information at your fingertips, that's free. So you don't there's no paywall on that. That's incredible. Yep. Wow. Okay. Yep. I don't think a lot of people knew that.
The only things we charge for are the values that we attribute to the books and the collection management functionality. Other than that, everything else is free. Like I said, even the cover scanner. Okay. So let me jump in here. I got a couple quick fun things to run through, and then we'll demo the fun thing, the cover scanner, and then we'll open up for questions.
Okay.
I'll make sure that we get through here. So let's go back in. Let's go look at my Hellblazer box. So you can see here, I've got a couple of books from both the 2016 series as well as the original 1988. So if we come in here and we look at the 88. So here are all the books that I've got. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 20, right? So we can easily edit any of these. So if I want to come in, let's do this certification. I'll just type in some numbers, save that. All this will show up here. So if we want to reference this, and we're working with a couple of the different vendors to be able to click from here straight over into your grading notes too. So that'll be something that we push eventually as well. But the best thing about this here, so if I'm in my comic shop, right? And I've got a bunch of these Hellblazers. So Hellblazer Volume 1 went 300 issues. So let's say I have like 250. Instead of having to comb through all of that stuff and remember what I've got, I can hit my gap list. So what this is this will come in here and show me only the issues I don't already have. So I can just come in, I can get a quick price check on a number 5, you know, or I can come down, here's number 7. I can add this straight into my collection. So a new import Hellblazer, throw it a 9.0, hit that. Now, let's see. Whoops. And now it comes off of my gap list and it is straight into my collection here. So this is a really great tool. They gave me so much freedom to decide and build the functionality that collectors want in here. So my history is I've been doing app development for 25, 30 years. I've been collecting comics for longer than that. When I reached out to these guys to pitch this project and to be able to build this, they let me just kind of take the reins and build the functionality, build the site from a collector's mindset. So I didn't have anybody from marketing telling me, you know, build this, build that, build this. I built basically this for me so that I can run my collection the way I want to. And that's the kind of community atmosphere we want with this. We want to build tools and build functionality that collectors want. So, you know, we may have things in here that don't work well for some collectors. And if they've got ideas, we want to hear those so that we can, you know, build additional functionality in here for everybody else too.
Okay, somebody said your pricing data, how often does it get updated?
So the pricing data gets updated when we determine that there's a need to. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of the market right now is based on speculation. You know, you've got some of the other pricing companies out there are mostly just kind of paying attention to eBay or kind of the quick auction stuff, which is valid as far as kind of a supply and demand and real-time aspect, but it's not always indicative of a value change when a book goes nuts on eBay. It could be an MCU casting rumor. I'll bet Lifefield's Evangeline books went nuts on eBay this week after, you know, news came out that they got optioned for a movie, you know, that kind of thing. And basically you'll see this huge uptick in sale prices on some of these books. And then 3 months later, you'll see the same decrease and it'll end up back at where guide value was anyways. But once we get enough input from the Overstreet advisors that a book has indeed kind of started, you know, trading higher, then we make those changes. And again, once a book is in your collection, if we make a value change, it will automatically update throughout all of your collections. You don't have to do anything.
So the theory behind the pricing database on Overstreet is to kind of protect the values against, like, you know, quick spikes, temporary spikes, that kind of stuff, right?
Yep. And again, that's kind of our mantra is that the Overstreet values are based upon raw value over time. And again, with documented sales, not just from eBay, but from retailers, private sellers, auction houses. You know, we have advisors all over the place. And we get constant feedback from those guys about what books are hot, what books are selling for, et cetera. Okay. And again, one of the things that you can do with the feedback button is if you disagree with the value of a book, all you have to do, ask for a price check on it. I know it sounds silly, but if you say, hey, I feel like this book should be XYZ and you guys have it at ABC, I'll throw that over the pricing team. They'll go out, they'll evaluate that. If they determine that it's time for a price change on that, we'll make the change and we'll let you know.
So Sean, you realize that you're on a platform right now where thousands of people for the past 6 days we call them loggers. They've been logging in time for like 13-hour days, and they've been here every single day for like 13 hours. Do you think that they're going to DM you for changes? Yeah, they're going to.
Hey, listen, the more people to contact us, the better this thing gets, right?
All right.
So if all I'm seeing is crickets in my feedback and support emails, then we're not doing something right?
All right, yeah, no, this is awesome.
And, oh, wait, Pinion XO, yes, the mobile app offers that. So does the mobile website, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. You can actually do it from the desktop. So I have one other thing to show you real quick. I know that we're way over time here, but there's so many features and so much to talk about here. It's hard to stick on track. But anyways, so let me point out, I added a couple of Hellblazer 2016s just to show you something. So I added 1, 2, 2B, and 3. Okay, so let's remember that. So again, my gap list, this will show me all of the books that I don't have from there. So basically everything from 4 up. If I'm interested in variants, I can turn on variants and I will see all the variants added to my gap list too. But retailers. So if we go out, we have about 1,729 stores in here. So I'm going to go look at my buddy's shop. So these guys have been awesome. They were early adopters and they've done so much. So 3 Alarm Comics, you can click on your retailer and basically they've put in 2,600 titles worth of books. So they've got all of this stuff. So if you want to come, if you're doing Eros, you can see what issues of Eros they've got, guide value for that. They have not entered in sale prices. And then basically everything is based on on contacting the retailer. So if I'm looking for this book here, I can contact the retailer. Here's all of their contact information. I can reach out and negotiate a sale of that book. But here's the fun thing. If I go in here and I search for Hellblazer, let's say I'm looking to fill out that 2016 run, I can see what they've got available for that. So again, I can expand that and I can scroll through their list of what they've got. But even faster than that, if I click on issues I need, this cross-references what they have with my gap list. So these are only the issues they have that I don't. So if I click on the variants, you won't see that 1B issue that I'm looking for too. You'll only see the ones that are in their existing inventory and that they have available. So again, this is a pretty important tool for that.
So we do it, Sean. We do have a good amount of retailers that are part of our community, obviously.
Yep.
So retailers, the other side of this too, is if you want to get on Overstreet and update your inventory, some people are using Overstreet Access to, compile their collections. They can cross-reference your shop when they're looking for things that they have, where they're checking out what issues they don't have. So you might want to consider that.
The best thing for retailers is retailer accounts are free. So if there's any retailers in here right now, all you got to do, reach out to support it at overstreetaccess.com. Let me know you saw us here. I will set you up with your free account. I'll give you the full demo, but reach out to me. We want to get you guys involved in this. If you guys, if you see value in it, we want to sign you up.
All right. Anything else we should cover before we do some Q&A? And
yeah,
let's do some open
okay.
Q&A.
So I'm going to apologize up front because I've never really done this before. I did one test really quick before we did this. I'm going to demo the cover scanner, but this is going to come through my webcam on my laptop as opposed to my phone, because if I switch off Instagram, I'll lose the feed here. So this is going to be a little goofy. So in the upper right hand corner of the mobile screen, it's in a little different place on the mobile app, but you'll be able to see that. You'll see there's the scan button. Now you get to see me here. Okay. So basically, and again, this is all reversed. So all you got to do is hold the book up, click on it. Let's see, let's get it positioned in there, hit crop and submit, and boom, there's Venom 23i. So it scanned that really well. Then you can, the blue magnifying glass button, this takes you to the issue detail page if you just want info on it. And this is the button that works for anybody. So if I'm logged out or you don't have an account, you can go scan your book in and click on that button and go straight to that issue. If you're looking for a quick price check, boom, there it is. There's guide values for that book. If I want to add it to my collection, I can add it right there. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
So that took you right to it. You got all the info just by taking that picture.
And even with like my fingers involved here.
Who remembers the book? The book where you had to go find it, like, oh my gosh, and then you got like one line maybe.
And then here's the biggest question. Here's the biggest question I get is, will it scan slaps? So I've got a little glare because my window's right there. So
you got that question from people, right?
I get that question all the time. So I'm scanning the slab here in front of you.
Okay.
And boom. there we go.
Oh wow!
So
Look.
not only did it brings up all the different versions. For some reason, they thought this was the Mark Jewelers, but you'll also see down here, this is the looks like there's the direct version, and then here's the newsstand version too. And then I don't know which one this one is. Oh, this one's the error, the yellow discoloration error one. So again, so it found all the different versions of this book that are out there that we've got. And then again, I can do a quick price check, or I can add it to my collection. And again, anytime you see a cover image anywhere, if it's in your collection, you'll see a green checkbox. So if you scan a book and it shows this, it's telling you you already have it in your system somewhere.
That is so awesome.
Yep. And then right here, this button right here, if it didn't find it and it wasn't in the additional matches,
yeah, you
click this, and this sends me the picture that you just took, so I can see exactly what you did, and then I can go out and source that book and fix it.
All right, just so you know, so there's some people in chat. I've repeatedly seen them ask for not safe for work books. You might be getting some pictures from them. I'm just letting you know. There's all kinds of not safe for work books out there, Sean. So get ready.
You know, I can deal with those. I just, you know, it's the non-comic related, not safe for work that we want.
All right. People, there's somebody that collects everything. Okay. Why don't you answer a few questions that stick out to you, Sean?
Sure.
And then like I told you offline, it'd be cool to have like the longer version of this, you know, at a time where we're not so time sensitive, because there's so much functionality here that we're just barely scratching the surface on.
Well, and I'll open this up too. If anybody out there is looking for a more exhaustive demo, or want to hear me talk even more, or want to see, you know, the importer or any of that stuff, just reach out to support@overstreetaccess.com and schedule a demo. I love jumping on Zoom and talking about this stuff, you know, so I will definitely give individual demos to anybody that asks.
I think we do the individual entry fields in the app accept the OCR scanning input, like grading cert numbers versus typing them all manually. Any functionality there?
So that's something that we want to move towards. The cover scanner's been up for about a month and a half now. Once we kind of, you know, we're always making adjustments to the machine learning and the AI algorithm that runs that. At some point in time, I think that we're going to try and get to the point where we can read the CGC numbers off of the labels. We're not there yet, but it's something that we would like to do.
Okay. Okay, well, I think that was a thoughtful question,
Yep.
and Angry Mixed-Up has asked a few thoughtful questions throughout. Angry Mixed-Up, you get a 1-year gold access pass to our subscription to Overstreet Access, Angry Mixed-Up. Thank you for that question. Any others that stand out to you, Sean, before we hop off? This one from Lino. Did you guys by chance see me dress up as a wannabe wrestler, and maybe Lino did too? Did Josh see that? Was there any talk about maybe dropping the sponsorship of Elite? Thanks, Lino. Right.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay, yeah, good.
I'll have to ask Josh about it though.
Anything else stand out to you?
I'm trying to scroll through here without.
See, maybe we'll pick one more.
Tell me, there was one, but it zipped off my screen. What was it? Will the app tell me who our experts are? No, but I know who all those are. So don't be afraid to ask like anything about like Golden Age stuff, Bronze Age stuff. The guy who's the president of Gemstone, who's in charge of all of this, is a guy named J.C. Vaughn. He writes comics too. He's worked on a bunch of different books and has his own series too, crowdfunded stuff. That guy knows everything about comics, and if he doesn't, he knows 5 other collectors that do. So I dare you to try and stump us. You know, send us whatever it is. If I don't know it off the top of my head, or if it's not somewhere in Overstreet Access, we will get an answer for you.
All right. So that was the last one you picked. Did you happen to see what handle that was?
I didn't. It scrolled right off my screen.
Oh no. Okay. Let me see. Who asked that question? Let me see. We'll just find out.
Here, you know what I can do? Well,
Okay,
you're
why don't you
looking at that.
look for it, Sean, and then who asked that question? I think he'll recognize the name when he sees it. I just wanted to close with seriously, you guys, go follow Overstreet_access. Support Overstreet Access, you guys. Like I said, Overstreet's been awesome to us. The Jeppy family, Josh and his dad, Steve, they've been awesome to Elite since the beginning. You guys don't know the extent of it, but they've been big supporters of the Elite community from the beginning, literally the beginning. So even when it didn't really make a ton of sense, honestly, and that's because they believe in the community, and so you guys should really support this. And honestly, it's just awesome. Like it's just the future. So I'm sure it's going to get even better than it is. They're working hard behind the scenes.
And I'm going to try and sneak one last thing in here real quick because somebody had asked about it earlier. This is a new laptop, so I still got all this activation stuff. But this is an collection export to Excel. So what you'll see is there's a tab that gives a summary of all your different boxes, total estimated value. But then each box gets its own page where it lists out all of your individual books, the grade, current guide value as of that date, purchase price, all the other stuff. So somebody had asked for that earlier, and I wanted to make sure we showed that. So
all right, I am trying to find that one question that you read. Who asked that question? Did you guys see it? Dang it. It might have been one of the people we awarded one to already. Sean,
there's so many questions coming through here. Oh man. I would love to answer all of these. So everybody jump on the site, hit the feedback button, ask me your questions. I will get them answered today.
All right. So why don't you guys go follow Overstreet_access. If he read your question and it was you, honor system, let him know. Sean, I really appreciate you coming on during AtCon. And you guys, please go follow at Overstreet_access. Check out all the features. Remember, the information about all the comic books is free. There's no paywall there. So you should at least be using that. And then check out the functionality for the collection and pricing stuff. Sean, thank you so much. We'll put this video up on the page so people can watch it even if they weren't able to live, okay?
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for having me on, and I'll see you guys all later.